All right, let me get this set. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Cosmic. Oh, my friends. Oops. What a silly day. Good now, revolutionaries. Whether you're listening morning, noon, or night, it's morning somewhere. It's time to wake up and smell the crypto. My name is Evan. This is the Rise Up Morning Somewhere show. And as you can see, it's morning here. I took this picture just a couple of moments ago on my drive, headed to Atlanta, Georgia. Alex is going to be here in a moment. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. We're going to get the show started. Let me know who you are, where you're joining from. I see Tori. Welcome, Tori. Look at this beautiful sunrise for the Rise Up Morning Show. Perfect, right? Good morning. Let me know where you're joining from, and I'll set the table while we wait for Alex to get here. The Rise Up Morning Show is an effort by me, Evan, my colleague and friend Alex, our friends, the Faceless Many, to help answer your questions about future technology and why it might matter to you personally. We really focus on blockchain, cryptocurrency, because such a bad story has been told about crypto. And we want to help everyday people who could benefit from understanding it, learn about it, if they're interested, and be safe while doing it. Neil, welcome, my friend. So if you're new, let me know. Tap the screen, leave us a like. It really helps the algorithm. Let me know how my connection is. I'm going to hand it over to Alex in a second. I'm on the road this morning to Atlanta, and so we will do a mobile morning show. Looks like Alex has just joined the chat. Oh, I can't wait. Hey, my friend, how are you?
What's up, dude?
Man, not much. This is not literally where I am, but I drove past that not 10 minutes ago. Look at that. A real sunrise for the Rise Up Morning Somewhere show.
Looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's morning somewhere, and it's morning here. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm exhausted today, but I'm good.
Yeah. How's my signal? Am I doing okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're
I was
good.
just telling people, I don't know if you heard it, that I probably will, I'm going to hand the show over to Alex and maybe minimize myself. I was thinking, I don't know, it gives you crap if you're driving. And I don't know if the green screen background helps, but I don't really want to risk it. I was just going to turn my video off and spotlight this handsome fellow. Do you know, Alex? Like, if that's the case or not? If
I
you're a fool?
don't.
TikTok?
I don't. I know that it has before. I don't know if it's still would, so I would say just based on past experience, it's probably not worth hanging with.
Last time? Oh, go ahead.
While you tee up, let me do two things. One, grab my coffee, and two, grab the puppy that I can hear slithering around in the living room.
That sounds great.
I put her, so
No problem.
gonna bring her in here.
No problem. While Alex does that, I'll say again, welcome. I'm Evan. This is Alex. We're friends. We're co-founders. And along with our other friends, the Faceless Many, everyday people like you and me, we're on a mission to tell a better story about the blockchain space. So what do you know about crypto? Do you have crypto questions? We'll go over the news. And in the meantime, enjoy this beautiful dog.
See? She started over there. She's slowly slithering.
Literal slithering. Say that 5 times fast. Literal slithering. Woo. That's a good one. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know if you have questions about crypto. Otherwise, Alex is going to go through some headlines. We're going to talk back and forth about the news.
More specifically, two headlines.
More specifically, 2 headlines. And then we'll catch you up. I'm driving to Atlanta. He's sitting in Savannah. And we got nothing but time to talk about telling a better story about blockchain. So let us know. I want to add some context to a great video Alex did. We're talking about the Bitcoin ETF approval, and Alex on the show last time, and I dissected the different responses that Gary Gensler gave, that Hester Pierce, his colleague, gave, the commissioner. And if you don't know the show, Hester is one of our heroes. Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, is tasked with regulating the crypto space. The whole agency is. It's been given jurisdiction to do that. And since 2013, our community has been asking them to help us make this clear, partially to make it easier to do, but also to make it safe. And they have moved the goalposts, they have yada, yada, yada. So Alex did a wonderful video dissecting the commissioner's opinion on the Bitcoin ETF approval. You should go watch that. I'm going to stitch it later because I want to give some context, but I thought it'd be fun today to touch it again, to talk specifically about the implications about where we're going. And I wanted to give you some context on Hester's excellent title with a little assist from my still in our hearts friend, Mr. William Shakespeare. Meg says, I'm one away from 37.3K. Meg really cares about followers, I can tell. So somebody be a kind soul and just go over there and follow Meg. Welcome to the show, Meg. Don't say we never did anything for you. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the Bitcoin ETF. If you're excited about it, if you're cautious about it, how you feel about the SEC. I know some of our friends have thoughts, probably more than we can type, but what are you thinking, Alex? What are your stories, and are you ready? Do you want to, wherever you want to start, I'm at your leisure.
All right, let me...
Look at me doing a commercial for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. This show is not sponsored by St. Jude, but it could be.
But it could be.
But it could be. Give us some of that. Do you know that they raise over $2 billion? I think it's $2.5 billion a year now. It costs millions of dollars a day, to run the hospital. They're one of the most effective fundraising, I think they are the most effective fundraising organization in the world.
Yeah, I do not have the facts to either support or argue with that claim, but that's an incredible amount, so it's got to be up there if it's not the top.
Alex, I just saw Tori's comment. Your ritual does look magical. You look like somebody who stumbled from like a wizard's den into the live.
All right, so I emerged from the den dressed like a wizard this morning.
Unsurprised.
For my birthday, Christina got me the most gigantic hooded robe of all time.
Wow.
It's to the floor.
Right? No. Wait. Bring it back. You got to try it on. You got to let us see it. Right, everybody?
Only for a second because it is incredibly warm. It's the uniform to like sloth my way out of my room, retrieve the
uniform
child.
To march to Mordor in January.
That's literally what taking Jordan to the bus feels like. Yes.
The march to Mordor.
And then retrieve the puppy, put the puppy outside. Today there was recycling, but it's just, dude, and today it's cold. It's like 60 degrees outside in this crispy cold morning.
I had to take my glove off so I could light the live for you. That was a fine robe, man.
And so then the coffee ritual. But I do have thoughts that the people tuning in probably care a little bit more about than my robe.
We care a lot about your robe, man. I'm bullish.
Okay, well, in other non-show news, the Phoebe has decided she can get up and walk now, so she's
Phoebe, stop slithering.
So she's become a nuisance. Anyway, I do have thoughts. My thoughts are just that I think it's going well. I'm excited by the launch of the ETF because nothing catastrophic has happened. So, that's refreshing. Price of Bitcoin did pretty much what we all expected, right? There was a whole lot of hype, a whole lot of excitement, and then it dropped a bit. But it has not been, as of yet, a precipitous drop. So as of right now, that's refreshing.
Choice word, refreshing.
Refreshing.
I wouldn't use that word exactly, but you know it.
The volume so far has been impressive, I think.
Yeah. Did you
say the least.
Did you see there was a commercial that BlackRock did that Eric Balchunas, the analyst, posted?
I did not see it.
He very succinct. It's on Twitter. Search Eric Balchunas. It's recent. It's a video of a white guy who's about my age with a much cleaner haircut in a suit, shirt, no tie, in a wide shot, does a millennial pause, and the
Nice.
commercial is about 3 minutes of him just talking very clearly, like a broadcaster, but more familiar, about how BlackRock now has an ETF. And his Balchunas quote was, "This commercial was made for boomers. Watch BlackRock win this game," in terms of everybody watching Fox News is going to see that. My grandma's going to see that. And I'm willing to bet people will start to talk about it. And they nailed it. You know, that's the kind of commercial those people need. They don't need, bro, we're going to the moon. They need friendly
Yeah.
white guy. Bitcoin.
I mean, I'm going to misquote myself here, but that was one of my, I tweeted that yesterday. I was just like, what did I say? What did my genius come up with? Just a
You're the
thought
little
that-
green man you keep in a cupboard and make him turn a wheel of great tweet ideas.
Yeah,
He came up with a good one.
basically just pointing out that, you know, we're at that pivotal point in the market where I feel like, you know, I hate saying stuff like this, but the whole like we're so back mantra that is commonplace lately. My supporting evidence for the we're so back idea is that currently, and Evan and I were just talking about this yesterday, pretty much everybody, not everyone, but pretty much everyone with a platform is pretending to be a genius, and nothing should be a bigger red flag in anyone purporting to lead anyone else through anything than the idea that like, hey, I'm the expert, I'm your savior, I'm your best hope.
Yeah.
That's you know, you might as well just say like, look, I'm insecure and I need you to follow me for my ego. So could you please not look to anybody else and instead give me all of the accolades? We've seen that before. It didn't end well. It's never ended well. And crypto is like a hotbed for insecure people pretending to be geniuses. There are some very prominent figures in the crypto space who are prolific offenders of this exact thing, and it's really sad.
Alex, can I ask you why you think it is? Why is it that crypto is attracting? Is it because we're a small industry, because we're new? Everybody's voice is louder?
Well, one, we're new, so this was what I just put a video up yesterday about. One, it's new. And anytime there's anything new, right, there's a chance and room for new thought leaders to emerge to champion and spearhead that industry. With this particular industry, there's a financial component. So it's even more motivating to become the thought leader there because there's a lot of money involved. There's money from consumers, there's money from institutions, there's money from investors, there's money from pretty much everybody who wants to be involved. Money is the way that blockchain is typically interacted with. So we are a new, financially motivated, institutionally attractive industry. And so pretty much every dumbass with a microphone is incentivized to become the next thought leader. And none of them have particularly intriguing thoughts that are worth, you know, that's the comment, like, I've done 10,000 hours of research. No, you Googled crypto terms for 20 minutes and now you're an expert. And you're going to read a few things off the computer screen behind you to us. And it just really bothers me when people can't admit that they don't know something and then like go search for the thing, because that was like the way that we all learned stuff in school, right? Like effectively, you know, like you ask a question and then instead of just being handed an answer, you were taught the process to acquire the answer. And that's, you know, that's a tale as old as time.
Let me ask you another question, just a quick follow-up. Because, I mean, what's the difference in, you nailed one of them, is money, for sure. When somebody, everybody's got to make a living, like, you know, we always sponsor the show. We'd love to, you know, find ways to do this more because we love it. Yeah. But what's the difference between, not the money thing, but I mean, the other thing is, you and I, we got our computers at the ready because we're prepared. I know you'll ask me something or someone will ask about something and I've totally forgot it. Leftover eggs will say, what do you know about the Zycoin? I'm not going to, you know, I'll look it up. Is the difference that we go on too long about saying, I don't know?
No, I mean,
because I think it's important to say when you don't know, and I know you do too.
My impression of that, because I see it a lot, especially, you know, I don't name any industry. It's always a trope, and I think it just stems from insecurity. It's like, I think that I'm going to lose my platform of influence, whatever that may be, if I admit that I'm not a genius. And so my audience would, I think that my audience would rather me just pontificate and pretend than say like, you know what? That's a great question.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but let's figure it out together, you know? And this was really prevalent just the other day. I was in a very prominent creators live. I don't feel particularly motivated to spill the beans at this moment, but I just like put the theory to the test, and there's a tremendous amount of people in the live, and I knew that I would be noticed if I left a comment. So I was like, hey, what's up? And then they were talking about the ETF and some SEC bullshit, and I was like, hey, great point. I think Hester nailed it in her op-ed, and it was just so obvious that they hadn't read it. And so instead of just saying like, oh, cool, I'll have to check that out, I haven't read her opinion yet, we just made up a bunch of bullshit for like 5 straight minutes. And it was just like, I can't imagine that anyone watching that would have been like, yep, this dude read the thing, you know? But I don't know. So that's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it is unfortunate. I got nothing to add. I'm sorry, I just wasted 10 seconds responding.
No.
So what else is on your mind to talk about today? I see Leftover Eggs has given us a great new project,
Yep.
Zai. Have I heard of it? I don't know. I don't have my computer in front of me to check, so I'm totally relying on Alex. I'm flying blind.
It sounds like vaguely familiar, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. So I pulled it up, and we'll first impression it here in a minute. Pontificate is one of my favorite words of all time, and it's like so applicable to crypto influencers.
Yeah, it's a great word. Absolutely.
It's such a good word. Okay. Let me preview some news, and then we'll see what seems interesting, and then kind of what we can get into.
Okay, sounds good.
Delineate is another fantastic word, Tori. I completely agree.
Pontificate, delineate. That's a wrap.
Dude, there are so many good words. There are so many cool words that don't get enough airtime.
If I ever scroll onto Harry Mack, that's what I'll tell him. Pontificate, delineate.
Dude, if first of all, if you're on TikTok or you've ever used the internet and you don't have your 3 words for Harry Mack planned out just in case you ever the good fortune to run into him, dude.
What are you doing?
I don't know. You know what? I waffle a lot on the other ones, but I know for a fact that superfluous is the first one because it's my favorite word.
Superfluous. That's great. Honestly, pontificate, delineate, and superfluous would be 3 great words for Harry Mack. Hit me with the headlines.
Yeah. So real quick, crypto is resurging a little bit. I know that we've been kind of seeing some price dumping lately. I think dumping is a bit of a strong word. There was a to be expected pullback in the wake of the ETF being approved, and so we're kind of seeing prices stabilize a little bit. So it's kind of refreshing. Bitcoin's up over 43,000. Total crypto market cap has been fluctuating between like 1.6 and just about $2 trillion, which is a massive range. So currently we're back down in the neighborhood of 1.8. So I'm super curious. We all know I'm not a price prediction guy. Evan's not a price prediction guy. But I am anxiously waiting to see which way this goes because, dude, I feel like it's just as likely to do either of the things. I'd be a little more surprised if it continued just like, have some only up type of trajectory, just given
that would
like
be
the
more surprising to me too.
The macro climate. But I would also be pretty surprised if it just like cratered. I feel like, okay, just for historical context with what little we do have around the Bitcoin halving, which is coming up here in a few months, typically the halving is looked at as one being like the ultimate bull run catalyst. Jesus. But 2, typically in the year that it happens, we are flat for pretty much the whole year. Flat and like a little bit up. Yes.
I'm sorry, I got derailed by Mihir's comment.
I know. Thank you, Mihir. I don't know how to take that, but knowing you, I'm going to assume that it's a compliment. I think it's looking particularly scruffy and in need of
Scruffalicious.
In need of some maintenance.
I think the word zaddy would apply to that kind of a beard, man. And to you,
all I know is I need my barber to help me because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't want to screw it up. Anyway, the big story that I wanted to bring up, Evan, and get your thoughts on before we lose you if you need to get back on the road here, is about Tether and the UN. Have you seen this? You heard about this?
This is fresh for me.
Okay, so the UN, God love them, is basically highlighting money laundering as it relates to cryptocurrency and essentially accusing Tether of being the money launderer's choice in Southeast and Eastern Asia. And Tether is not stoked on that, and they're presenting evidence in contrast. And so there's actually a number of different sources this morning, including the big bad CoinDesk, talking about kind of Tether's response, which I thought was appropriate. So I'm going to pull up. Ooh,
please. Yeah. Will you if you pull it up and will give me some, that's interesting. And while you pull it up, I'll just say Tether it's inevitable that Tether, unless they kind of change the way that they're operating, they're going to continue to have a tough time. They're going to have a tough time anyway. Yep. Stablecoins will be a target of regulators. But Tether is what is it? Suspect number one.
Dude, so, always.
So, but they just have kind of a track record of not, there's a lot of talk about how decentralized are they, the way they respond to people who question them, and the kind of verification they provide. It is a lot of obfuscation and trust me, more and more, or at least they keep missing the opportunity to really build trust with people. And we don't need that from Tether.
All right, so you've hit it right on the head, because this is what I wanted to talk about. First of all, sidebar, obfuscate, another one of my favorite words.
Harry Mack, where you at, man?
I know. I have heard someone give him that word before. No, so this is why I highlighted this, and this is what I wanted to talk about, because one of the reasons that Tether one of the things that Tether highlighted about itself in response to the UN's accusations here is that even I can't remember when it was. I'd have to try to pull up and see if they quoted like how recent it was, but recently enough. They froze and blocked nearly $300 million in what they deemed to be fraudulent transactions using their network. And they've been kind of making a case before the UN now, highlighting the importance of using blockchain to track and help prevent money-related crimes, which is exactly the way I think to handle it. Because, Tibu, give me just a second to finish this thought, and I'll help you out here. Which we've talked about this before, right? It's kind of silly to, if you have the choice between two currencies with which you would like to launder, and one of them has an immutable ledger that anyone can check out and read at any point, and all of the money can be like traceable from origin to forever for its entire lifespan, and every wallet it's ever touched can forever be checked. And if you manage to do something to screw it up and taint it, right, then that would be traceable too. That would be apparent too, that like someone had futzed with it, right? Or would you rather use like the nearly traceless cash system, and do it the way that money launderers have been doing it, to the tune of,
prefer to do it,
trillions of dollars throughout the history of money laundering. But this idea of Tether freezing / locking up some funds that they deemed to be fraudulent does invoke several interesting questions about our industry specifically, right? Like, one, that's not a super decentralized move. So how much decentralization do we want / need, and what price are we willing to pay for it? Because it seems that the price of decentralization, especially from an optics perspective, from bodies like the UN or the US government, whether that be through the SEC arm or whatever, is that when something is decentralized, it's very easy for a naysayer to hold it up as, a crime arm, because there is less accountability, or there's the perception of less accountability, even though one could easily argue that there's more accountability in a decentralized ecosystem. So, Evan, I wanted to hear your thoughts about that idea, the battle. I mean, this is a big question. I don't, you could easily, I'm sure, go on for hours about this specific idea. The give and take battle of like how much the spectrum of decentralization. We always say decentralization is not a yes or no thing. It's a spectrum. Something is not decentralized. Something has more or fewer components of decentralization, right? But Tether demonstrating that there is a centralized aspect to it, that the organization is able to make a determination that something is fraudulent and then do something about it, which to the UN probably looks great. And to, proponents of blockchain as a way of life, or as a network of decentralization and no censorship and all that sort of stuff, that's probably not super refreshing. So what do you make of all that?
I think it's interesting to contemplate the question of trust. And I think it's going to come down to, it's a question of trust and power. Institutions that exist now, the government, the SEC, whoever, they want to have control. Visa wants to have control. They want to centralize trust and power in their servers with their employees. And we are used to that as consumers, as people, and our governments are used to that. They have frameworks for it. And now we have this new tool that you've excellently articulated the benefits of, that many people are in favor of, a loud growing minority. And what it's going to come down to, they're going to regulate on, different issues, but they're going to come closer together over time. And eventually they will start talking. They'll use language about trust, control, power. They're going to have to decide at the end of the day, and we are all going to have to decide, who do we want to trust? Do you want to trust Tether to control, like your bank would? It's the same thing your bank or an exchange would do. Do you trust Tether more? Do you trust the government to set up their own private blockchain more? Or are we going to hold Tether, other builders, to a standard? To my mind, there doesn't exist a great standard for what a stablecoin, a global permissionless decentralized stablecoin really could be. Tether is great. It's kicking butt. Love Tether. But I think we need a really good model for what that could look like that is different and maybe somehow more, I will say, democratic. I don't necessarily think it would be more decentralized, but that's not the word I want to use. Just so that the people had to say, the protocol could run itself, and we wouldn't have to rely on some guy at Tether or some guy in the SEC to say, trust me, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because if you were to like sit down and describe an ideal methodology for, appointing those in charge, you would probably paint a picture pretty similar to like the foundations of democracy.
Yeah.
And look where that ended up. So, are we just kind of like hitting some sort of reset button with this idea of decentralization? Because we make the point all the time that at the end of the day, it's impossible. I'll say it's nearly impossible to remove trust from the equation completely, because at some point you're going to trust someone.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe not ideal. I like that we trust each other. I like what our trust is versus my trust with Tether.
Sure. But all of the people here, if we wanted to advertise some new system, people watching the show who don't know us or whatever have no reason to trust us.
Yep.
So that would still be asking someone watching or listening or, trying to learn to place their trust that like we're not just full of shit. And I always say you should fact check everything that we say, because one, if we say something wrong, we want to know about it. And two, it's just a good habit. But that's a lot of work. It's not like, that's why that's why politicians don't really care that much about just making shit up and lying, because they know that everyone's too broke and we're all too stressed out to sit there and just fact check everything that everyone on TV says to us, right? Like that's insane. So you can like me saying go fact check me will give a lot of people a false sense of security that I'm telling you the truth because I'm asking for you to hold me accountable, even though I know that the odds of someone holding me accountable are pretty low.
Yeah.
And if someone did, I have probably like enough friends to shut them down and get them out of here, and I could just moderate them out of my live chat, right? Like
Yep. Yep.
it's inherently flawed. The whole thing is flawed. Uh, we use the example of a blockchain explorer all the time. I always tell people like you should go read the blockchain explorer if you want to learn about this stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not the easiest thing to do. Don't worry, I'll teach you. Am I teaching you the right shit? You better go double check. And now you're learning it from 2 or 3 different places to try to confirm or deny whether or not, like, okay, this is consistent. And then if someone were to come along and be like, you know what, this is way too hard. I'm going to build you a new website that's like way easier to read. Now I have to trust that that person building that is holding the information properly and giving it to me properly and not making it up. Trust is everywhere. You know, the requirement of trust is everywhere. No one has
Yeah.
time to do everything for themselves. That's ridiculous.
No, but I like the checks and balances of other people on the network who are just as powerful as me, more than I like the checks and balances of Tether has all the keys or the government will tell me what to do. You know what I mean?
I agree. I do agree. Yeah, it's just hard, I think.
It is. It's so hard. It's so hard. I saw we had a question about the Faceless Many. Did you want to address it? Do you want me to
Yeah.
pop? I'm good to sit and talk, and I'm way ahead of schedule on the road.
Okay. I mean, if you're a good man, don't let us keep you do
Yeah,
what you got to do.
I will
This
have to
is
go at 8, but I'm
that's
chilling. I'm straight
okay.
chilling.
Yeah, let me touch on the TFM stuff really quick, and then I'll say that I can talk more about it at the end, just because I know probably not everyone is interested. So as a quick aside, I think that it won't come as a surprise to anyone that RevPoints have lost their former luster. So Joe and I are kind of working on a new plan to breathe some life back into it. So the plan is to take the RevPoints, since they are an off-chain system, and get some partnerships with other on-chain systems and organizations in the crypto space. So we are making a gigantic list of like kind of our dream collaborators, DeFi protocols, NFT marketplaces, other, crypto projects all over the place. I don't care what chain. And then creating like a system of affiliate programs, discount opportunities, fee reductions, yield increases, DeFi strategy opportunities, all that sort of stuff, with whatever the crypto project is, and then giving Rev Points holders a way to convert their Rev Points into a tokenized thing so that they can use it as like a voucher code. So Kaio actually whipped us up a whole bunch of really cool like Rev Points vouchers. We could mint those on any chain. So we're talking to a DeFi project on Avalanche right now, and the idea would be that we would mint these vouchers on Avalanche. Anyone with Rev Points can go into our Discord and like put in a claim ticket to get a voucher on Avalanche, and then I would mint them one on Avalanche, send it to them. They can do whatever they want with it. If they get over it, they don't want it anymore, they could send it back to me. I'll give them the points back, or we could swap it to another chain if we get another partnership going. So that's in its infancy, but that's what I'm working on right now because, right now there's no interest in the Rev Points, and that makes me sad. So I think we need to do something new. We got to pivot.
Yeah, and we have a sort of secret initiative that's really backburnered that Alex probably would get would get nervous if we started talking about. I would anyway. But something I
What are you
want to.
talking about?
I'm talking about our group chat with Neil and old Hal Jordan.
Oh,
What I'm talking about. I so want that to be a thing more than anything.
yeah.
And that
Yeah.
that's maybe more of a niche thing, but it's in the works. It's good. So stay tuned.
Yep. So Switch, that sounds great when you say it out loud. It would be easier if everybody just nailed a timeless product on the first launch of the product. But since that's insane,
Yeah.
and almost never happens, like I defy you to come up with any example of a product that was created and then was never altered. Like
And maybe
was
that's what we
never.
do is like unalterable products that we abandon, and we just get really good at moving to the next one. And everyone like if we could,
I
but then
mean,
the problem becomes how are you going to rate of adoption? I still
yeah.
think all the time about that speech we saw in the Bitcoin conference about the Chivo wallet rollout. Were you in that one with me? I think how they
Yes,
rolled
I
it out
was.
to like 90 million people with a
Yep.
super high. It was an excellent operation and like case study for even when you put this in the hands of people, they still don't know how to use it.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. I feel like maybe you thought that was a good burn, but like This is kind of funny.
You talking to me? Oh,
No,
somebody
I'm
burned you in the
talking to
comments.
Switch telling me that I should have just got the product right on the first time.
Hey, Switch. Yeah,
Okay.
you come if you're good, man. Come hang out and work with us.
I
If you're
mean,
if
I
you're
mean, hey, dude.
one.
First of all, yeah, you're right. I should have, but guess what? I didn't. So the choices are adapt or die, and I'd rather not let it, rot. So why wouldn't I? I don't know. I don't know what the point of that comment was, but hey, thanks so much for participating.
The good trend is giving us a technical analysis take. Says if we retest at 46 for Bitcoin, dump to 31, it would bounce perfectly on the bull trend line April 29, which is the halving. I don't know
What'd you
anything
call
about technical analysis, so that could be a good prediction. It could be terrible,
it? Yeah.
but I'm glad you said it. Timing is interesting. I actually did want to talk about. Could we maybe talk about the halving for another second? Because you said something I wanted to zoom in
Please.
on.
Yeah, go
What's that?
for it. Just go for it.
And then we will talk about Xi or XAI or whatever. But
Yes.
this halving
Thank you.
is
Tori caught it. You called him the good trend before you read
I
his
did.
comment.
I said the good trend. Sometimes my mouth does stuff, man. My apologies, the
What
good
do you think
crust.
Bitcoin's crust is going to do? Uh, what is the TA telling us about the crust?
I told you last time or a couple times ago, a couple episodes ago. By the way, someone said I've watched this 10 times. Good for you. Get a POAP. I was talking to my dad a lot more lately, and a couple weeks ago he was like, Evan, you know, I really want to understand tokenization. That was the gateway, but he's been asking me a lot about the halving and the supply. And my dad is, let me preface this by saying my dad is super smart, especially with numbers and like conceptualizing systems of numbers and how they relate to each other. This man plays Yahtzee every day and like instantly calculates dice, instantly calculates probabilities, and is the guy who says, well, you could go for this, you could go for that, you could go for this, and is also the scorekeeper and, does it
Is
like a
there
calculator.
is there a reason that we didn't bring your father, who's also, fun fact, a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
that we didn't bring him to Vegas?
I don't know. We should have. We should have. He grew up there. He grew up there.
Real? That's what I thought. But
Yeah, we should have.
anyway,
Well, next time we'll take dad.
next time.
He's
Continue.
asking me that, but he has a really hard time understanding the numbers of Bitcoin, and I think I talk
Yeah.
too much, but I think I explain it pretty well in terms of like I found lots of light bulbs for lots of people that if this one doesn't work, I'll sit with you and we'll work it out. But he gets stuck on this. He's like, so the halving. He asked me the other day, will it make the price of Bitcoin go up or go down? And he's asking in the short term. And we just said it. Short-term price predictions, I could tell you what I'd be surprised to see and what I think I might see. I said, Dad, if you want to know what I think Bitcoin, I said, the prediction I align with most is I heard Kathy Wood say one time, by 2030, Bitcoin will be $1 million. I don't know if that's true or not, but that aligns most closely with what I feel in the sense that I feel comfortable saying in 7 or 20 or 30 years' time, Bitcoin will be worth a lot more than it is today. And it'll do all kinds of things in between. And so I try to, I don't know. My dad is so caught up on, but he's caught up on, so what does it mean? Does it mean the supply doubles? Does it mean the supply, I think a lot of people are still caught up on the, you know,
What? Yeah. What is it?
what is it? And everybody, we're trained to think short term. Someone said to me, I've known you for a long time. We've been crypto friends. And I said, oh, you have? Who are you? And they said, I've met you in 2021. I was like, oh, like a crypto long time.
Yeah.
Short. So what do you I mean, what kind of narratives do you see? It's a good time to be talking about the halving and what it
Sure.
means and why it's happening. And I have some analogies maybe to share, but I was hoping to get your take on it. And are you having conversations like that? Because that's, to me, when we're so back is when everyday people, when my boomer grandma sees that commercial and asks me about Bitcoin again, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah. I mean, people do ask, especially because so actually the cat's out of the bag. They haven't posted the stuff yet, but it's up. So I work for a nonprofit dog rescue. I
Yeah.
shouldn't say I volunteer for one. And we recently got sponsored by a meme coin, and it was really exciting because they did not know that like I was a part of it or that we had any Web3 inclinations at all. They just like found it on Facebook and then called Steve and asked if they could donate. Steve's the owner, and And anyway, then I like jumped on a meeting. I was like, I also work in Web3, and his face just lit up. He's like, oh, no shit. What do you do? And then we like had this whole big conversation. Turns out he and Mac live like an hour apart, and they both do jujitsu. And, so, at some point, and he's like pretty accomplished, it sounds like. Anyway, point is, because of that, I have been talking more about them at the rescue because they're a massive sponsor. They sent us a huge donation, and which was really cool. But I've been getting a lot more questions because I always sneak Bitcoin into the conversation about the fee. Whenever someone asks me, like, how do I pay the adoption fee? I always say, I've made it as easy as possible to give us money. You can pay with anything from Cash App to Bitcoin, and anything in between. You can write me a check. You can pay with a whatever credit card. You can hand me cash. You can hand me rubles, or you can pay with Bitcoin. And you can it's always funny when I say the word Bitcoin, because there's three things. There's a negative reaction, an excited reaction, and someone who just has clearly never heard of it. So there's been a lot more of that lately where I say that and someone has asked, like, to what? Or like, is that, what do you mean? Is that a joke? I'm like, no, dead ass. You could pay me. You could pay your adoption fee in Bitcoin if you want. I'll give you a discount. And, you wouldn't be wise to do that, but, you could if you wanted to.
Yeah, it'd be wise for you.
So I've been having more conversations with just people there who are curious about, like, who is this crypto project that donated that's this new sponsor or whatever. So the interest is there. You really got to get good at having that first conversation because it's make or break there. If you want someone to be interested enough to like take a look, I basically open every conversation the first time like, crypto is kind of weird. Like 85% of it is a Ponzi scheme. But there's some really cool shit in there. You just kind of got to dig through the garbage. Mm-hmm. And that it has never failed me. It always makes the connection first that I am someone that they're willing to give a few seconds to like make a case for it.
I might have to try doing that more.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm sure that there is some credibility to this, right? Like you got to validate the skepticism,
absolutely.
Right? Like no one in this audience could look me in the eye and tell me that there are no scams and there's no bullshit in crypto, right? So like, why would we not lean into embracing the bad part so that we can more easily and readily identify it and then find the cool stuff, right? Like that just makes the most sense. Yeah. Robbie, the coin is BabyDoge.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, obviously, right? It's a dog, one of many dog themed meme coins.
And not like it's known. It's I won't say notorious, but
Yeah, I mean they're one of the bigger memes. They've got millions of Twitter followers, all that stuff. It was nice. They sent us a bunch of money to the rescue. It made a big donation. It was really easy and painless. They were super quick. Basically, Mihir, they found the rescue on Facebook and they do, it's part of their utility, right? Some of their trading royalties are rolled into donations to animal rescue organizations. And last year, I think they donated like $420,000 or something, $430,000. So they were just like, hey, I mean, he was very straight. He was like, hey, look, it's, we need to do this by the end of the year. It's a big tax write-off for us. We would like some sponsored content from you guys, just kind of showcasing the impact of the donation, whatever. And I was like, hey man, don't take this the wrong way, but like I work in Web3 and I'm not shilling your shitcoin through the rescue. And they were like, oh no, don't mention price. You can't, it's illegal. Like we work in the United States. You can't mention this or whatever. So like, don't talk about the cryptocurrency. And it's like, I mean, none of our community knows what crypto is anyway. So don't worry about it. But it was nice. They've been fun to work with so far, and they're making a big fucking difference.
Yeah, they give you, I mean, and what a great way to do it too. Like the fact that when we first talked about it, I laughed, and I have to say, you didn't build that up near enough. That should have been a headline, and we should have just hit with that you were going to do a name reveal of the meme coin that sponsored the rescue. It's a great story.
It is. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to start talking about it because that was their main motivation is marketing and content. So he was really excited that I was familiar with the process of making content, so he didn't have to like get someone to teach me how to make a video. So I got to get the rescues TikTok fired up again. It's been dormant for a while.
Man, and you should post it about yours too. I'll make a video about it. I mean, like, it's like you always say, some of it is a casino. It needs to be clearly labeled that way, and we need to do what we can to ensure people understand the risk. But like, there's utility in a casino, and I can't think of a better utility than like people legally, compliantly funding the rescue of wonderful animals. Like, that's dope. Mihir said it's got more utility than XRP, which sent me over the edge. You know,
Mihir,
yeah.
I miss you quite a bit.
Yeah, what is, Alex, while we're here, and we've got all these people watching who probably love dogs more than they love crypto and, you know, anything, what's the @, for the rescue so we can follow?
Put it in here. It's just at Lovable Paws Rescue.
At Lovable Paws Rescue. Lovable Paws, where your paws are in good hands.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice. The donation was really nice. And I mean, I've been pretty upfront. Rescue is brutal. It's brutal, terrible work. It's rewarding, but like, it's really hard. I've been in rescue for a long time. Steve, the owner of the rescue, is like teetering on the brink of insanity daily. It's like it's heart wrenching. Like, some guy just for context, this is like mild. Some guy adopted a dog from us 2 weeks ago, and I'm going today to pick it up from his house because he doesn't want it anymore, because it had an accident in the house. The thing is like 10 years old. It's, you know, it's just like, it's a new rescue, and he's like, oh, I'm not. So he's making it live in his garage, and I'm like, dude, it's cold and it's little and old. So like, I'm gonna go get it today. But like, and that's like one of the nice, you know,
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's an easy
A story that didn't go wrong.
Yeah. Horrible stuff you see all the time. But it's Lovable Paws Rescue. We're in Ridgeland, South Carolina. We've been around for years. One of the biggest nonprofits there in the region, certainly. And my biggest flex is that we are the size of and doing more like boots on the ground work than pretty much any other rescues shy of the SPCA. And we get absolutely $0 in funding. Everything is donations.
Yeah, and you're about to get a volunteer whose butt's going to be famous on TV.
Yeah, we're about to get a famous TV star who's going to come scoop shit with me on Friday.
Very fitting for my butt.
Evan, you're going to pick up so much dog shit, dude. It's not, you don't even know.
I can't wait.
You don't
We'll take
even know,
pictures.
dude.
That'll be my picture next time, is all just me just covered.
Christina always jokes that you feel like you're at a fucked up version of Cold Stone because we use like the big wide scrapers to, you know, clean kennel floors and stuff. That was way more information than any of you signed up for. We should get back to the subject matter. While we still have Evan here. Good morning, Mother.
Hi, Linda.
All right. So anyway, that was pretty much the bulk of what I wanted to talk about. That was at least new because, as I'm sure you can all imagine, pretty much all of it is around ETF aftermath. There's a little bit about like, you know, and I don't want to get into him specifically, but Vivek is getting some airtime just because he was a candidate that was at least aware of cryptocurrency and had talked about it. So him suspending his presidential campaign, obviously we all knew that was coming. But you know, so that's got a little bit of attention. Solana is making a budget version of the Saga phone. And oh, Evan, I don't know if I'm coming through the car, but echo. Oh,
Yeah,
we're good.
sorry, I fixed it.
You're good. Dude, my prediction there is that phone is going to. I think they're doing it because they know the demand that came for the first one because of the airdrop potential.
Yeah.
I think they're being purposely tight-lipped about airdrop potential for this one, and I think this phone is going to completely fly off the shelves immediately, just because of how many people are airdrop hunting right now. That's my prediction. So I would be cautious because I don't know that they will do one. They probably will do something, right? 'Cause it would probably be like really shitty if they like let that narrative play out and then didn't do anything about it.
I mean, it would be shitty, but if their goal is to sell phones, if they're smart, of course they'll do it. I mean,
Sure.
it reminds me of NFTs. You know, you didn't get a Bored Ape, you can get a mutant.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
there's more and they're cheaper.
Yeah.
It's like it's not sustainable. Wouldn't that be so funny if every industry tried the NFT model now that they get tokens, where you like sell one and then you sell the next one, you sell the next one, you sell the next one, and just kept doing airdrops and stuff like that. You know.
Money Talks Crypto says the WEF is pushing low cost phones for payments. India just made one for $12. You know, that makes perfect sense, right? Like as the ultimate vehicle of connectivity between people in an ever digitized world. That makes perfect sense. I've never like sat down and thought about that, but I would imagine that should be a thing, right? I mean, more
And
people having access to it is you know,
let
makes
me
sense.
let me deal with this. Luffy, I love you. I'm so glad you're here and I'm glad you're a repeat watcher, but I've muted you for a moment because the way you talk about that token is going to lead lots of people to unhelpful ends.
Yeah. It seems like an appropriate time to remind people that just because something goes up in price does not mean that it's good.
No.
You can make money in crypto with pretty much all of it, regardless of merit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and
that
we
one is
won't do a deep dive on this because we've
no.
done it before and we might do it again. But my conclusion, and I think I speak for Alex, is that Hex, Pulse Chain, they are scams.
Yeah, it's
That will make some people rich, but most people will lose their money. So please verify what I say. Get lots of opinions.
no, just yeah,
But
go info gather,
yeah, we'll
but
talk about it another
but
time.
zoom out, okay? Because last bull market, everyone shilled it to everyone else as a surefire thing, and look how much up it is, and then it was one of the hardest crashers out of all of them, and then it was flat, and lots of people lost a lot of money.
Well, and just beyond the money, everything goes up and down.
Yeah,
I call it a scam because of how it is run and the infrastructure, the architecture of it. So Shiba Inu gonna rip. I think a lot of meme coins. Meme
dude.
coins are different
Yeah.
than
I mean, but
Hex,
think about
honestly.
it though. Memes are such a relatable narrative that it would be insane to think that they're going to go anywhere. Like, I
Right.
think, I think the dangerous part. Here's my take on meme coins.
Okay.
I think that meme coins as a category will be a thing in crypto for as long as there is crypto, unless some ridiculously overarching, sweeping regulatory action gets rid of them. But I think that even in the face of that, they will find a way because the internet is pervasive. I think that the reason, so I think that meme coins, if there was like a meme coin indexed fund,
That's
I would,
interesting.
I would probably be interested in that
I would too.
because if you can, if I could say two things that I think you'd have a hard time disagreeing with. Memes are pervasive, but they're fleeting, right? So like, who knows? No one knows like which one is going to get popular and for what reason, and how long its day in the sun is going to be. We know that it's going to die because something newer and funnier is going to come out.
Hmm.
There's probably some grandfathers, right? Like Dogecoin is a safe grandfather because
Yeah.
it's just it's old faithful.
Yeah, it's like legacy.
But like an index fund trading in and out of them is risky, right? Because there's a ton of scams and there's a ton of honeypots. There's a
Yeah.
ton of garbage. And who knows when at the drop of a hat it's going to get rugged or it's going to cease to be funny because a newer, funnier one's going to come out.
Hmm.
Um, you know, it's but memes themselves. I don't think meme coins are going to go anywhere, dude. I think they're
Oh
going to be here.
no. I don't think so. And I'm sure somebody is working on that, probably many somebody's. It might already exist and we just don't know it. I know you can buy baskets of tokens on some,
Hmm.
like a
Yeah,
pair or whatever, but
totally.
But there should be a company whose job it is to employ like 3D gens, feed them Cheetos and Mountain Dew, Red 40, and just give them awesome high-powered computers. And their job is just to find or
Yeah,
make the meme coins and then find a regulatory way to just get them in quick and let
yeah.
people buy them
No,
in baskets. I would put $10 in that every single month. Absolutely.
yep. I mean, here I think
You
that
know?
that makes perfect sense, right? Like it is really hard to stay. I mean, there are tracking which meme is going to be popular next is daunting. I mean, I'm not that old, but memes are younger than me, so I've been around since like the dawn of the meme, and watched lots of meme cycles. I mean, we had genres of memes, right? Like there was the time when, was it Bad Luck Brian and Good Guy Greg and like all those, like that was the meme genre style. Remember those?
Yeah. And it's fun how it evolves. I mean, we could have an Alex, a robe token, I don't know.
Yep.
If that was a big enough meme, it would just take right off.
Yeah, no, it's a sure thing. It's a sure thing that memes will continue to be memes. I don't think the idea of memes are going anywhere. And to be totally honest, right? Like, I think I don't have an issue with meme coins. I actually enjoy the idea of meme coins as long as they're like upfront about what it is that they are, which is fun casino games. It's where you would go to gamble and take a risk, and
Vegas,
it's not like a thing that you should build your 401k out of, but like they're fun. If you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Alex, I think I might zip my face down here in a second.
Cool.
Will you lead the research on this XAI and just stick with me and we can close out the show whenever you want to. I'm going to be with you until I lose signal.
Yep. I was going to say let us. I got it pulled up here. I'm going to take a first look and we'll kind of read through the opening together here. Let me set myself up so I can aim this at my screen and try to share a little bit about what we're looking at here. Go. Turn that around. Okay.
I'm going to see how I can turn my video.
All right. Let's see here. So, hold on. All right. I'll be with you till I lose signal. Sounds
I was just responding. I'm about to write that song.
All right. So XAI. Now, for context, I have no idea what this is. I've never looked at it before.
Is that Elon's XAI? Like, has it finally got a token?
I mean, no. Based on the price, this looks like a shitcoin, right?
Because if it's XAI token, there is a token that is a scam. Not a scam, but it might be a scam. It's a meme coin that is not affiliated whatsoever and is positioning itself like it is related to XAI, the legitimate company. I made a video about it, and my dad asked me. He heard from somebody, "Hey, you should buy it. It's going to rip soon," kind of thing. Let me know if that's the one it is, Alex, because I can definitely speak on that.
That I'm not sure. Crust says no. We'll check out their different documentation. So it looks like it's a pancake swap thing. The 24-hour volume is 26 grand. That's where 100% of the volume is happening. Just for context here,
That's low.
The current market cap is Crust, is this the right one or is it a different one? Because this is like the smallest market cap I've ever seen. The market cap is 300 grand and the total supply is 100 trillion.
And how far back does the chart go?
Is this not the right one? Oh, okay. I'm getting the impression that this is a different one. So is it the same ticker?
It's gaming.
Benji,
Yeah,
yes,
I remember they said it's gaming. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. It's been a minute. I was distracted. Crust, what are the odds that you can send me the actual like thing in Discord? Are you in a position where you can do that? Otherwise, I'll just kind of blink around here looking for it. Red triangle's logo. Okay. Telly, what should you buy next? I apologize. I'm not the one to tell you which one you should buy next.
Hang on, sorry.
We are familiar with Injective, although if you want, is there another Crust? I don't think so. I'm talking to you, dude.
Is there another Crust?
Benji, yes. We are more familiar with Injective, but if you want like a way better resource on Injective than I can give you right now, our friend and colleague Mac Lorden is way more read up on Injective, and he's probably got a few videos about it. And if you left him a comment on a video asking about Injective, I'm sure he would make a video about it. I think he made one pretty recently, but he knows way more about it than we do.
Yeah, and I just am not.
Okay, so
there are a lot of resources on it.
This has got to be the one, right? $280 million market cap. XAI. Oh yeah, red triangle. Okay, this is it, right? All right, sweet. Thank you.
Here you come. Alex is
Perfect.
getting
Found
big.
it.
I'm just trying to turn my video off and struggling. I'm such a boomer.
All right, so false start.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm aware of Injective. I'm not super read up on it. What I do know about it, I do enjoy, and it's kind of on, it's on a list that I would like to read and learn more about. I just haven't found the time. All right, so this looks a little bit more reasonable to peek at. Okay, so we found the right one. All right, so let me back this up a little bit. So the first thing that I do every single time I look up anything is just come to, actually, I'm on CoinMarketCap and I would prefer to be on CoinGecko. So let's swap over and pull up the same thing. There we go. It's on the top of the autofill, so this has got to be trending right now, I would imagine. Okay, so here we've got our basics. Right? We've got our market cap, 281 million, 24-hour trading volume, $479 million. That's significant. The fully diluted valuation is $1 billion, which to me immediately indicates that there's quite a bit of the supply left to enter circulation, which, nothing necessarily wrong with that, just something good to be aware of. It is not ranked 206. It's currently ranked 184. She's climbing.
Wow.
So moving on up. If it was 206 or whatever last time you looked at it. Okay, scroll down here and I'll just get kind of a list of where I can get it. So immediately starting from the top down, we got Bing X. I've never heard of that exchange, but it's the biggest one for this one apparently. KuCoin, of course. Bybit, yep. Binance, yep. DigiFinex, yep. Gate.io, yep. Okay, BitGet, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I mean, if I was going to tangle with this based on that list, I'm going KuCoin for sure. Evan, I don't know if you agree or not, but that's where I would.
Absolutely. It would be where I would go.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean it's where everybody should go, but I
Nope.
would go there.
Just the opinion of two random dudes on the internet. So,
And the reason I would say that is because I have a lot of experience with KuCoin. If I was new, I might do something different, just because KuCoin's interface is it's
nightmare.
challenging and a little intimidating.
That's Evan's polite way of saying the KuCoin interface is absolutely a nightmare for new people. I think that it's way too complicated. That exchange was not designed for people who have never used or gotten into crypto before to open up and start using. Dude, I open that thing, I have no clue what I'm looking at ever. It's insane. So Binance is probably a safer bet for a beginner. I've never used Gate.io, but I know that that's another.
You can't use it anymore. It's restricted in the U.S. now. You would need a VPN.
Well, classic US. Okay.
Yeah, but I thought it was a lot like KuCoin. It was, had different tokens.
So, all right. So let's take a quick overview. So the one reason I like the CoinGecko thing right here, we can get the quick and easy stats. The easy stuff to look up real quick. Market cap, diluted market cap. What's the supply? Blah 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 blah. All that good stuff. You come down here a little bit. Info block. So contract address, which you can copy and then go straight to the Explorer and check it out. Website, white paper. It looks like it's on Arbitrum. So here's a link to the Blockchain Explorer on Arbitrum to check that out. A bunch of socials. So their Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I do enjoy that it's the X logo and the word Twitter. And if you go there, it's still a Twitter URL. That whole thing just is hilarious to me. Search it up on Twitter. Here's a link to the API ID. And then, okay, yep, I should have just kept reading. It is on the Arbitrum blockchain. And here's a little bit of a price history. So 24-hour range between 93 cents and $1.16. Pretty big swing. So if you're a day trader, it just made its all-time high in the last 24 hours. So the thing is ripping. So be careful because post all-time high, a pullback is way more likely than a continual climb. Okay, and then all-time low was 45 cents 6 days ago. Okay, so this thing is new. Wow. What's the max? Okay, yeah, the thing's been around. The thing looks like it launched on my birthday, so happy birthday to me. All right, let's check out this next block over here. And the first thing that we're going to see is just the quick about. What do we got? Okay, so I'll give you guys this thing because I know there's no way you can read this. XAI was developed to enable real economies and open trade in the next generation of video games. With XAI, potentially billions of traditional gamers. Oh, there you go. Potentially billions of gamers. Yeah, me too, dude. Can own and trade valuable in-game items in their. Okay, so it's like you said, Crust. It's a gaming project. Looks like they're trying to build some sort of network with which to facilitate the trading and the ownership of video game assets in Web3 gaming. Anyone can support the network by operating a node. Okay. Receive network tokens participate in governance. Developed by off-chain labs leveraging Arbitrum. All right, cool. So now let's chase down. Let's chase down some of the actual links here. All right. So I want to see the Twitter. I want to see the Explorer. I want to see. Where's the? Oh, I want to see the website.
Twitter too.
And I want to peruse the white paper. Okay, so let's start there. All right. 129,000 followers on Twitter.
Can I say something real quick? That logo,
Yes.
the triangle logo, that's super smart because it's iconic. No one's gonna miss that. It stands right out on the page, and it's easy to get an association in your memory. Zai,
Yeah.
XAI, whatever it is. The triangle. That's nice.
My hunch is that since Avalanche's logo is a red triangle, that was a deliberate choice because this is already an iconic shape in the world of crypto, and Avalanche has a big gaming focus right now, and they got a lot of attention. So I think that was deliberate. So Rose and Ruins makes a very good point. Look at their GitHub as well. I would if I had any idea what I was looking at, and I don't, so I'm not going to waste my time. What I would do is send the GitHub to my father and ask him to give me the TLDR. But okay. Okay, so 129,000 followers, 52 others that I follow, including a whole bunch of gaming names, so that makes sense. There is some activity. Obviously, since they launched, I mean, it looks like they launched this thing. They have 2,100 posts. So if they really just started, so they started beforehand. I'm not like reading anything specific. I'm just trying to get like a feel for how active they are. And for just like the vibe of what kind of stuff they post. So it's a whole lot of token tagging, which makes sense because that's the way to get the trending stuff. There's some reposting. Okay, so the Binance launch and listing. Okay, some warnings about scams. All right, so I mean, this looks pretty typical, right? Like this is healthy social media activity on the Twitter. So,
Yeah.
like I said, this is a first impression. It's not a deep dive, so like I'm not reading anything. It could all be nonsense, but I'm just sort of trying to get
they're at least
first
real, you know.
Yep. All right, let's hop over here. This is the Blockchain Explorer. So this is Arbiscan. Evan, I'm not looking at my phone, so if you notice that it's just like aggressively not pointing at anything helpful.
No, it's doing great. Although I wonder, when you get a second, I'm not able to take myself off video, and I don't want to jeopardize the live by driving. I wonder if you can maybe drop out and let me co-host invite you, and that'll change it for me. I don't want to cut you off right in the middle, but we can come back to it. That way we don't lose any people, you know? And I can give a quick take on Arbitrum to catch people up.
Okay, so yeah. All right.
Yeah, so drop down as a guest, and then I'll add you as a co-host. Okay?
Gotcha. Give me 2 seconds.
Take your time. So while we're looking at this, Arbitrum is one of those L2s. Point my phone at the ceiling of my car. That's funny. I've been dinged for this so many times. It's an L2. And it is one of the names I certainly have heard a lot since 2021, but a lot more lately in the last year or so. It's had some big successes early on. They've been around for much longer than that. And they're I don't know, I'd put them in the same group as ZK Sync, or optimism. You know, they're in that kind of class of crypto projects that hasn't had a lot of traction. The way that like Matic was. Oh, it's showing Alex is offline. What a silly thing. Yes, yes. Go live. It's showing you as not live. Um, Matic was like that. That was the first time I really remember paying attention to an L2 token that had an acceleration of value, had an acceleration of adoption, attention, people building things using that token, ecosystem, infrastructure. And Arbitrum, this is the first big like running token I have seen on Arbitrum. And it's got a great company behind it. A lot of people are going to use Arbitrum for gaming. That's something they're pushing. They're a great place for games. At the same time, someone like Injective is a newer protocol. But that's what I wanted to know from you, Alex, is have you seen, I expect we'll see more coins and more ecosystem activity on Arbitrum big time. I'm surprised we haven't seen it sooner. But
Yeah.
what do you think? Is this the first one you've seen really ripping on Arbitrum? Or
Um,
like big project that's like, we're here, check us out?
I Yes, but that doesn't mean anything because I'm not paying
No,
attention.
no, of course.
Yeah. But no, I mean, by all accounts, it looks promising. Let me turn around here. Holy crap! It's been a minute since I've done this. Okay, more
It's okay.
flip.
I'm still trying to, I don't know what the heck is wrong with my
It's all good.
video.
We don't need to keep going too long. I know you got to get on the road here, but we'll just real quick finish this. I got two more tabs up.
Sure. Let me answer this question quick too. I'm saying both. Check the tokens on ARB or Arbitrum itself. I'm not trying to say, I'm saying if you are looking at speculating on companies, there are a lot of companies that are looking at Arbitrum as a place to house their infrastructure. I think their team is impressive. They've been
Yeah.
doing this a long time, and they're gaining momentum as a narrative that I personally think Arbitrum. I can speak on Arbitrum to say I think the hype is worth the juice. Um,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But projects building, I feel less confident. I've never heard of this project before, so I really don't know. But I like what they're saying they're going to do. Makes me worried they're going to try and take us out on. Maybe it's a good place for show 'em. You know?
Who knows? Yeah, it is definitely one that I've been hearing a lot about over the last few years. I know some of the bigger creators were talking about it last bull cycle. Refreshing that it's still here kicking. That's one of my prerequisites. Like, are you able to survive a bear
Do you
market,
have
which
a
is
pulse? Yeah.
a lot easier said than done. But yeah, no, I mean, definitely the first one. I mean, I'll look deeper into this crust after we hop off here. I appreciate the tip for sure. So if I check the Explorer really quick, so this is Arbitrum, which is just the blockchain explorer for the Arbitrum network. We've got the token, we've got the category. It is an ERC20 or compatible token type. We've got our fully diluted market cap here. We've got holders. We've got 13,500 addresses. 341,000 transfers. Here's their website, which we'll hit in a second. Contract address, all that good stuff. All right, so yep, healthy transaction history, pretty much exactly what you would expect. Hop over here to holders. This is the kind of stuff that I do want to see. So either easily labeled wallets that I can more easily identify and dig into. So we've got the Binance hot wallet, and then we've got a whole bunch of contracted wallets. In case you don't know, if you look at the holder section on a blockchain explorer, so just scroll down and tab over to holders. Every blockchain explorer looks almost exactly the same. You can find this on all of them, whether you're looking at an Ethereum token, a Polkadot token, a Cardano token, it doesn't matter. If you look at these addresses, you'll see the address, and then right here next to it, you'll see a little document icon. This is your first greenish flag. Okay, so this means that a contract of some sort is attached to the wallet. It's not blanket good. You still need to look into it a little bit and make sure it's not garbage. But this is at least an indicator that this wallet is under contract, so it's governed by a smart contract. And that seems to be most of them. So the only ones that are labeled here are the exchanges. So we've got Binance there, we've got Bybit there, we've got KuCoin there, we've got Gate.io there, we've got a couple other big ones that are holding relatively small amounts, comparatively. But overall, I would say that looking at it, first take, this is refreshing. This looks good to me. at first glance.
Me
So
too.
the biggest percentages here are like some 17% stakes, some 10% stakes, some 9, 6, 5, 3, 3, etc., kind of trickling down. And every single one of those is a contracted wallet. Um, Basic info. Okay, we get a lot more info on the CoinGecko, so I'm going to skip that for now. Here is if you have the ability to audit or know someone who does, you can get auditable code here. So this is the JSON input code for the smart contract. Like I said, I'm personally not great, but another pro tip for what you can do is you can copy paste this and send it to an AI like ChatGPT or Bard or something, and just ask it to summarize it for you, or ask it questions about the code. And I've had pretty good results there. Always good to follow up with someone who knows more if you really do want to dig into this, because like we said about trust earlier, how do you know that the AI that you're looking at is going to give you good information? But worth the peek. Then I guess there's a comment section which is empty here, so I don't care about that. So just to recap, in case you're just peeking in, we are looking at XAI. Was a audience requested token to check out. I'm not familiar with it, so I'm doing a quick first impression. It is up today. It's a very recent launch. We're just kind of taking a quick peruse of all of their links and their information here. So decent showing here, especially for a newer project. They're super active, so that helps. All right, let's take a quick peek at their website. Again, I'm not doing a deep dive right now, just in the interest of time. This is just kind of a first impression. So, blockchain games developed for mass adoption. XAI is built to enable open trade in the next generation of video games. So the vibe I'm getting here is that really the point of this is to probably be a network upon which game assets are hosted via Arbitrum and then traded. So skins, cosmetics, other sorts of things that people might want to tokenize inside of the Web3 gaming world. So that makes sense. Okay, so you can download something here. What is it that I'm downloading? Doesn't say, so we're going to skip that for right now. I love this. With XAI, potentially billions of traditional gamers can own, trade valuable in-game items in their favorite games for the first time without the need to interact with crypto wallets. Okay, so this is huge. This is a really good sign that they are admitting straight up that the interaction experience with cryptocurrency stuff is not user optimized. It's not super fun. That it's challenging. It's messy. It's not super clean. It's not necessarily the easiest thing. So this is exactly what we want to see. We want to see self-aware projects that understand that we want the benefits of Web3 without the thus far traditional user experience of having to connect to 4 different things and mint this and hold this and buy that and all this other crap. I personally don't want to deal with that. And gamers certainly don't want to, make an attempt to try out a new game and then find out, oh, I have to own an NFT to do it. Oh, okay, now I got to connect this to this. I got to buy crypto on this exchange and send it to this wallet and then buy this NFT from this other website and then come back. And dude, would you try a game like that? That you had no clue whether or not it was good, let alone spending money on it, spending money and that much time, because I wouldn't.
No way. No. And like you say, the user experience is a big hurdle, but it's nice to see the company self-aware about it.
Yeah. This is really interesting though. I'm excited that this was the request. So, Crust, good tip, because they have a build with us section, so I'm going to send them a message and see what they say. So I'll do that after here. Okay, so this is Evan, you're muted, I believe. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, there we go. You're just lagging a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so this is just the documentation, kind of the Git book here. I'm not going to go through all of this, but it is a good sign that this exists and it's readily available. That's one of my, little baby green flags that I look for, is just, hey, where is your how easy is it for me to find all of your documentation and start reading about it? So, a whole bunch of stuff. This looks pretty robust. Looks like I like the way that it's set up. It's at least designed to be a little bit easier to read. You've got a healthy mix of technicals and theory, concept, all that sort of stuff. So without reading any of this yet, this is kind of what I expect to see in a project that's at least attempting to be serious. So that's nice. Okay, that's the documentation again. So yeah, I mean, my first impression of this is, let me turn around here. First impression of this is promising. It looks like something I would definitely be interested in reading more about. I would not say at this point that I'm going to buy anything or not going to buy anything. Like I said, we all know I haven't read any of this stuff yet. I just sort of checked that it all exists and checked that it's, formatted and organized, and that the social media presence exists and that there is activity there. One other thing I would really like to do, actually, which I'm not going to point out, I'll just talk you through it. There's a website called Crunchbase, one word, Crunchbase. I kind of have mixed feelings about it because they're sort of pay gating like more and more stuff there, but you can at least try and see if you can get anything. So I'm just going to look and see if Crunchbase is a good resource to figure out who's funding something, who are the investors, and how much have they invested in something. With crypto, it's totally a mixed bag. Not everything is listed there, and it doesn't look like this is listed. So, at least I'm not seeing it. No, okay, they don't yet. Crunchbase doesn't have a page for it, so never mind. Maybe eventually it'll get there. Anyway, that was a fun exercise. Thank you for the suggestion. You can definitely do more of these in the future.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to watch you walk through it, and it was a new to me project as well, so I always like those.
So anyway, Evan, I don't know about you, but it sounds like you're relatively well met.
I'm relatively well met. I'm in the snow.
There you go. Look at that. Well, it is currently 62 outside. It was 70 degrees and sunny yesterday, so you're heading in the right direction. It was
all right, good. I can't wait.
Yesterday, we were yesterday for for a good chunk of the day. We were at the park in shorts and a t-shirt.
I checked, and it looks like it's going to be a little chillier than that when I get there, but I am ready for it. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait. That's my kind of parting thought is it'll be great to see you. We'll be back Thursday. I didn't even say it one time, but we're here every Tuesday and Thursday. If you enjoy this stuff, you want to ask us questions about crypto, you want to hear us research a project, teach a concept, or just catch up with each other, then this is the place to be. You, me, the Faceless Many. And also, you can join us in our Discord server at discord.gg/themany. Totally free, always going to be free. And ask a question there between times. Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. UTC, Tuesday, Thursday. Got it? We're there. That's my final thought. I can't wait to see you. I'm going to go put my butt on camera, and then I'll be there.
I do have a question for you.
Okay, yeah.
Christina wants to know if just you had to audition or if your butt also had to audition.
You may or may not be surprised to know that just I had to audition. They do a slate, which is like, hi, I'm Evan, I live in Memphis, and then you do a full body shot like way over at the other end of the room, and so they see with clothes on. And I did my audition, I did a take shirtless because I was going to be shirtless in the scene, and then for my slate I wore a shirt that was like open, you know what I mean, like buttoned down but no button. They did not ask to see my butt.
They're taking a risk.
They are taking a risk. They're taking a huge risk, but hopefully it'll pay off.
Well, so we are very excited to see you. Obviously, like I
Thanks.
said, we'll be back here Thursday morning to preempt Evan arriving. Maybe we'll do something when Evan gets here, and then
Yeah.
yeah. We'll, otherwise, find us in the Discord. We're usually around. I pretty much live there, so
Absolutely. Thanks for another great show, Alex. Everybody, it's good to see you. Until next time, my friends, rise up.